Thanks so much, Chris. So I want to welcome everyone to our 13th annual Unsession. I believe this is the 13th one we've done. Of course, this is like the 23rd year that we've done this summit. And we've been doing the Unsession for 13 years. So I love doing this session because I love our community and our friends of SUNY who come and are willing to share some cool things that they may be doing on their campus or that their faculty may be doing. So it's a great opportunity for us to network and to get to know each other and some of the work that we're doing and to share with each other. I'm going to turn my screen on. Hang on. So share. Oops, I got to stop because I got to do it with sound. So let me do it again. Share sound. All right. All right. So if you haven't been here before, you can sign up here to just go to the bottom of the list and put your name and anything that you'd like to share, any links or, a little bit of, a couple of bullets about what it is that you'd like to share. And then we're going to go in order. And everyone, keep in mind that we want to keep it to about 3 minutes so we can get as many people as possible to share whatever it is that they'd like to share with us. And if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat as we go. You can also unmute yourself to ask a question. It's pretty informal, and we just want to have a good time and share the things that we're doing and of interest to the community with each other. So I'm going to get us started, and let me see if I can figure out where to go here. The thing that I wanted to share was about Oscar, the Oscar 4.0, which is the newest version of Oscar, which has been revised to include regular and substantive interaction. And if you're not familiar with this new federal regulation about regular and substantive interaction, it went into effect on July 1st, and it is significant in that it's a federal regulation, and we want our faculty and our campuses and our instructional designers to be aware of just exactly what that means, to make sure that you are aware of it and that you help your faculty become aware of it and that you incorporate it into your instructional design activities, both course design as well as faculty development. So you can come to the Oscar website and take a look at that. I did want to share a couple of details about Oscar, just to give you a little overview of some of the numbers. We sit in the last 2 years, we have had over 6,000 downloads of the Oscar self-assessment rubric from the OLC website. And that is from 121 different countries, all 50 states, including DC, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. And that would be close to 4,000 separate institutions, organizations, or individuals. And there you can have the stats on the page there for the last year. The first set of stats are for the last 2 years. So I just wanted to mention that. I've been working on a new video with my friends at Empire State College. And I wanted to do a little bit of a preview of that, world preview of that. So here goes.
Fundamental and core competencies for online course design. Oscar is the first online course quality rubric that specifically addresses the U.S. Department of Education regulation requirements for regular and substantive interaction, RSI, in the design of online courses. Oscar can be leveraged by faculty, instructional designers, departments, and institutions to assist in planning, designing, improving, documenting, and implementing online courses and programs that are in compliance with RSI regulations.
I'm going to stop it there. That is a sneak peek and preview of the new video. And so, yeah, if you're interested in Oscar or in understanding regular and substantive interaction, let me know. And I'd be happy to chat about it with anyone. All right, who's up next? We have Karine Spencer from Binghamton.
That would be me.
Okay.
So I'm just wanted to tell you guys really quick about how we took our English language mentoring program and flipped it during the pandemic and what we had to use to make that happen. Because I think it opens up a lot of doors for different internationalization opportunities for us as a whole in the lecturing community. I'm not going to share my PPT. You can find that in the document, the sign up document, if you want to look at it. But the big thing you need to know is that this is a course for both the mentees and the mentors. Mentees are in a 0 credit, mentors are in a 2 credit TA level course. They generally do guided projects together as one big group here in our English Language Institute Tutoring Center. And those guided projects are broken up into one-on-one and group sessions. Going online, we knew that one of our big issues was going to be the time zone difference because our mentees were in China and Korea, so 13-hour, 14-hour time difference depending on the mentee, and our mentors were mostly in the US, but we did have a couple that were in China during this. And we knew that that was going to be an issue because there's 32 people total and a big chunk of them are at a different time. The course was meant to go face-to-face, so it was set up for a 6 p.m. time, which meant that kids in China had to get up at 5:30 or 4:30, depending on where they were to come to class, which wasn't ideal. So we were not able to meet that way. So the first things I had to do was think about what we were going to be using for our technology. Our big issue was the Blackboard system, which you can use with a VPN. It logs down really bad sometimes for students abroad. We're not going to have to deal with that anymore because we switched to Brightspace, and I don't know how that's going to work. So we'll find that out next year. I did have to get WeChat so that I could contact with my students faster because Binghamton is on the Google system and Google is not supposed to be used in China. So we got WeChat so that we could quickly communicate with each other. They're still using that WeChat group that I created. They still send things to each other and to me on that. We had to redo all of our materials. This is a face-to-face course that's actually got a lot of packet work because it's individualized projects. So I had to update those to be shareable formats abroad and ADA compliant so that translation software could use them as well. On top of that, we had to make a big change because everything we had was in the Google Suites and we had to move that over to our 365. There was a little bit of a learning curve there because the TAs and in this case, the mentors hadn't really been using 365. And finally, we had our Zoom and our VPN. The VPN was probably one of the hardest things to set up because it was a new VPN for the mentors. They generally don't use it on campus. With the pivot, the big thing that we had to drop was the groups because it was just too much trouble to get everybody together. But what we did instead was assign one-on-one mentoring, and they still did the same projects. They recorded their Zoom sessions. So the mentee and mentor chose their own times to meet. And they met once a week, recorded it, sent it to me. The activities were all shared to the mentors who then distributed and collected it and sent it all to me, which was really nice. They did a great job of that. And we ended up only meeting 2 times as a full class because that is a terrible time for everybody. And finding a time where we could all work things out just wasn't going to happen. So for us, it unfortunately doesn't mean a lot because of immigration compliance. They do like to keep us face to face. But now we have all those materials set up in ADA too, so there's at least that for us. But we know that we can make the pivot. It worked really well. The students turned in all of their information on time. The mentors turned in all their information on time. We can give a lot more responsibility to our students, and I think this opens up a lot of opportunities for ways to think about making those cross-border connections in our classrooms.
Thanks, Karine. All right, who's up next? We've got Jessica
It's Finkelday.
Finkelday. Hi, Jessica.
Hi everyone. My name's Jessica Finkelday. I'm an assistant professor in criminal justice at SUNY Fredonia. So I teach courses that are mostly criminal justice, some sociology courses as well. I'd like to go ahead and share my screen if that works.
You should be able to do that.
Okay, I think it should be sharing now. So I just wanted to show that in that document, I do have 2 links that I included. That first link is to essentially searching podcasts in the Google housing system. And then the next link is to a podcast that I consistently use in my courses. So I'll show that very first link this is where I would go to search general podcasts, but the one that I'm specifically talking about today is called Ear Hustle, which is under this tab. So in teaching criminal justice classes, one of the things that has always been a concern for me is that I like to give voice to a marginalized population. So in this case, talking about people who have had contact with the criminal justice system, and it gives me a break from lecturing too. So in my online classes, I'll provide video lectures and things like that, but having students listen to podcasts as I found has been a great way for them to hear directly from people who have had contact with the system. And then in some of my other classes, I use other podcasts that are like criminal justice, people who work in the system, the criminal justice system. So police officers or correctional officers or judges, things like that. But I wanted to share about this particular podcast because it's really unique. It's recorded in San Quentin State Prison in California. And so all of the people who are on the show or who are running the show, really, most of them are incarcerated, and they cover a whole host of different topics. It's all about life while being incarcerated. So, visiting with family members, what it's like to prepare for release, what it's like to have jobs while incarcerated, what it's like to be someone who identifies as transgender while incarcerated. I mean, there's just so many topics that are applicable to a wide variety of criminal justice classes. And then one of the things that I really like about that particular podcast is that in sharing if I go, I'll show, if I click on listen and then, and of course, watch it, it's going to be a little bit slow. And if I go to, for instance, some of the most recent episodes, so if I click on this episode, there's usually a piece of art that's associated with the episode that someone at the facility had drawn, but you can listen to it live on the site. But one of the other things I like is that you can usually get the transcript through the website as well. And so I always appreciate that for providing accommodations to students who, may not be able to listen to it audibly. But I've really enjoyed assigning these. And generally when I assign a podcast, I have them do some sort of written reflection or, a handout or something on that too. But I just wanted to share that I think students have really enjoyed listening to the podcasts online. And I thought it was a fun activity to kind of suggest that other people do.
Perfect. Thank you. There was your time. Oh, sorry, I had a timer on you. All right. So next up is Joanne Thacker.
Hi. This is Joanne from Nassau Community College. Try to share my screen. Thank you. Let's see. I'm sharing with you distance education webpage that we've developed at Nassau Community College. I am a professor of math and computer science at the college, associate professor, and I work as a faculty liaison to the Office of Distance Education for many years now. We have always done online registration for our workshops, but when we went remote, due to the pandemic, it really highlighted a need for communication about the Office of Distance Education in a digital way. So it really forced us to make this website stronger and more inclusive, and it's grown a lot. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we've done with it. Most recently, we've added information about Brightspace. We are in cohort 4, so we have some time, but we intend to share information about our migration to, also I have to call out our graphics, which were developed by our great graphics designer in the Office of Distance Education, Stacy Simmons. She supplied all these to me and I just put them up here. We offer, on this page, this is a homepage just welcoming users to our page. We also are going to share news about our migration to Brightspace here, information about the cohort transition. Being in cohort 4 gives us a little bit of time. And links to the SUNY DLE website and how to get a Brightspace account. Okay, so that's relatively new, but what we've done for years now and really exploded during the pandemic was offering online workshop registration. Faculty are able to register for our workshops remotely. I just have to mention this website is written or developed in Google Sites. You could see from the URL that we're in Google. And this application was written using Google Apps Script. And it interfaces with a database that we host on our campus. The database holds all the information about our workshops, and Google Apps scripts speak with the database and presents current workshops that are available for registration. So faculty can come here and click on the workshop that they'd like to register for. Only Nassau Community College faculty will be able to register. We ask for your ID number. It's auto-populating last name, first name, and your address.
Thanks, Joanne. Thanks, Joanne.
Oh,
Your 3 minutes are up.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that went fast.
Yeah, it goes by super fast. All right, next up is Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen here. So what I'm showing is stuff that we're also doing with Google in stuff and content that lives in the LMS instead. So I'm not actually going to go through the mechanics of this, but I did put my email in the chat if you have any questions. So the very first thing is we just do a lot of images in our Blackboard site. And the way that works is we actually do them in Google Images. And one of the reasons why we like doing this is because this is live. So I can say like, I can change this image and this is pushed out. It doesn't matter because right now I teach this class that you see right here. I teach it in the FLCC Blackboard, but there's also 2 of them living in the SUNY Blackboard and I only teach one of them. So there's 3 different places where this image lives. And so I'm just going to refresh this page right here and you can see that this is live. So I only need to change any image in one spot. And by the way, I don't have to upload it to Blackboard at all. I'm just embedding it. So if you have a question on how to do that or why you want to do that, you can either email me or I'll be presenting at CIT on the same thing. And you get to see kind of like how the sausage is made there. The next step we took was to make it hot images. So again, this is Google Images right here. And I took sample work that students had done in the past and linked each one. These are just PDFs that also live in Google Drive. And to show you kind of like how easy it is, you just make a shape. And I'm going to link that to like CNN.com. And then I go back to the LMS. And again, like once I refresh or when students hit this page, then they will have this hot link right here. So again, I never have to manage anything in Blackboard. It's done all externally, especially with these hot links, which is kind of cool. The next iteration was to do a schedule in Google Sheets. So this schedule lives right here and it's the same thing. I just embed this code in Blackboard and any changes I make here, and I did this for all my chapters. So say there's a snow day and I need to push everything back. I just change it right here and that's live in Blackboard. The next thing is I have my office hours in Blackboard and you guessed it, it's actually a Google Sheet. So I only update this and it pushes out to all my courses. So if I make a change or from semester to semester, I never have to go into Blackboard and change it. It's just there. And one of the other things that I do in Blackboard, or I'm sorry, in Google Sheets is I have my office hours listed because in my course syllabus, I actually embed that right here. So if I change things in my Google Sheet, those office hours get updated in all my syllabuses automatically. I think that's my 3 minutes. If you have any questions, again, my email is in the chat.
Yeah, with 11 seconds to spare. All right, let's see. Who's up next? We have Nicole Simon. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to do a quick screen share and just switch over to screen. Sorry about that. Too many tabs up. Okay, I just want to talk to you all a little bit about this SUNY MTech project. For those of you who don't know, It's the Exploring Emerging Technologies for Lifelong Learning and Success. It is a great avenue to sit down and really take a deeper dive into different forms of technology. We have two parts to it. You can certainly sign up through a Coursera site and go through the MOOC, and there are several different learning activities I'll go through in a minute. On the MOOC, it is self-paced. It takes a couple hours, a couple of weeks, depending upon how much information you're looking for and what it is that you want to do with your class or for your learning. There's also a second portion, the wiki, and the wiki is a wonderful resource. And several loads up, apologize. The wiki allows you to search by different categories, and 4 categories that we look at throughout the MOOC are lifelong learning, communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking, and those are the 4 C's for 21st century tech skills. You can certainly go through and take a look at different objectives on more specifics, what you want to learn within each of those different areas, or you can look at the different categories and you can find wonderful technology tools. What we've been doing is going through these tools and reorganizing them so that they tie a little bit more back to what faculty need, and more specifically, they have an international component for those of you who teach COIL, to make sure that we are hitting accessibility, to make sure that the tech tools are reframed in the form of security and privacy so that it can be used in K-12. We encourage people to do the MOOC. You can either do the MOOC just as yourself, you can cohort if you want for your campus, or you could certainly have your students enroll for SUNY, and that's through Coursera. And if you wanted, you could also do an e-portfolio to really highlight a lot of your work that you've done with your deliverables, or you can use the wiki either in part or in whole and have your students use the wiki to find different technology tools. I know myself and some other colleagues at Nassau have used the wiki to be able to, again, any of those 4 different areas really tie back to your campus and your classes. So I'll put the link in the chat for you. We also have a student intern who's been doing a wonderful job, and our student intern happens to be from COIL. He's from Venezuela, and he's been doing great work helping us restructure things in the form of both security and privacy. And we have a second intern from University of Buffalo who's been doing wonderful work on the back end, keeping our wiki up and running. So thank you.
Awesome.
Good.
All righty. So next up is Chrissy Mitchell.
Hi, let me share my screen. Okay, so I think a lot of campuses can relate to our problem. We ended up with a problem that we had 1,000+ courses in remote modalities that were never checked for quality due to the pandemic needs, because we needed to stand up these courses immediately. So we needed to solve that problem because at our campus, we have required training and a required process for people to teach online. So we had a lot of faculty that wanted to continue teaching online after what we call the pandemic period. So our solution was to work with our union and create a faculty-driven voluntary course conversion process to convert the remote courses to actual online hybrid courses that can be offered beyond what we call the pandemic period. I know that we're not done with the pandemic, but that's what we're doing. So we want these faculty to be able to continue to offer these courses online. So the process is we had a faculty team that was worked with through our union to modify the OSCAR rubric to reflect our baseline needs. Now, this is a baseline process. This is not a exemplary process. I will say that now. We are trying to get these courses to a baseline level of quality to be considered a real online or hybrid course. Then we set up teams of 3 faculty reviewers who used the rubric to review the submitted courses. The faculty that wanted to do this is a voluntary process. Not everyone who taught online during the pandemic wanted to do this. And then at the end of the process, the faculty were either fully approved. All 3 of the reviewers said they were good. They were approved after a follow-up meeting with me. That would be 2 of the reviewers said it was good, or were submitted for revisions and re-review. So out of 130 submitted courses, 65 of them were fully approved so far. 36 were approved after a follow-up meeting, and we have 27 that required re-revision and re-review. They're in process right now. So the good stuff that came out of this, pre-pandemic, we had 92 faculty approved to teach online. That is 1 course, 2 courses, whatever. Through this process, we added 130, around that, additional faculty to our online faculty cohort. That could be teaching 1 course, that could be teaching multiple courses. So we pretty much more than doubled the faculty at Dutchess that are able to teach online according to our requirements. The faculty were generally really positive about the feedback received. They have never really done this type of process. We never had these types of things at Dutchess, and they really enjoyed it. And this gives us a baseline standard for courses going forward for the ones that were submitted. Challenges. We have some niche courses, our fieldwork courses, our nursing courses, the courses that are not traditional courses that were still offered remotely and still may need to be offered remotely, like our fieldwork course. They might not be able to get our future teachers into classrooms to be able to do this work. So we may still need to offer this online. How do we review that? What to do with fully synchronous courses? They weren't really counted as online courses. So do we want to continue offering synchronous courses forward? What are we going to do with that? And it was pretty heavy clerical and a follow-up with the meetings workload. I met with probably 50 people in 1 week. If you do this, make sure you get your
Chrissy, you're up, your time's up.
okay, there you go. Feel free to contact me.
Can you put those slides in the Google Doc
Sure.
so that we can catch up? Thank you, Chrissy. All right, let's keep plowing forward. And next up is Stan. Hey, Stan. Google the
Hi,
alphabet.
folks. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. I appreciate it. I miss you guys. So today I want to talk about Google the alphabet. It's probably something that you do, that you know, but there's actually a name for it. It's called Google the alphabet. It's a great way to hone in on some topics that you want maybe to write about, create videos, podcasts, what have you, or help students narrow down their topics. So here I am in Google doing a Google search, and I put in online discussion, and right away I have some recommendations. These recommendations, these are a little biased because they're kind of tailored to me, but these are things that people want to know. And if you answer these type of questions or answer these topics, you're going to create more value as you go forward. Where the Google the alphabet comes in is I have online discussion, I hit a space and I put an A. And so now all these things, all these different topics are related basically to A: activities, advantages, alternatives. I backspace, I could hit a B, and this now narrows it for B, those various topics, and C. And I can basically work through the alphabet to start collecting terms that I want to use and put them into a spreadsheet, and then I can drill down further. So if I wanted, say, discussion crossword, I do that search, I get the crossword puzzle or crossword there. At the bottom, they also have related searches. This is what people are actually looking for. So if you can answer those questions when you're building your content, you're going to add more value. In addition, let's see if find another topic. We'll go down to activities. Sometimes in the middle of things, you have questions people ask. If you use those particular phrases in what you are creating and you make them available publicly on the web, like in a blog or something like that, people will, your stuff will gravitate to the top. It's that search engine optimization, so it'll bubble up. And so that's what you're trying to do. I also use a tool called Keywords Everywhere. And as you can see, I have these related searches. Once again, this is just kind of mining Google and telling me what people are interested in. And it gives me a wealth of ideas to create content for my faculty, or a way to help students narrow down their searches. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Stan. That was excellent. Okay, let's see who's up next is, where's my doc here? Oh, I think it's Woody is up next.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, let me share my, why I cannot see my thing? What? I'm sorry. I cannot see my, okay, finally. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Wuri. I'm a PhD student, but I also an instructor for the past 8 years in the States. So during summer 2020, it was the first pandemic happened, and one of my colleagues from UW Medicine, who currently in Indonesia, was contacting me to help her to develop professional development for teachers in rural Indonesia, because in their mind, oh, Wuri have been teaching online for 8 years in America, so she must have been know something to share. And I didn't, honestly. But I was actually conducting research in rural school at that time. So I basically translating what I found in the field to professional development. Because if I teach these teachers how to use, let's say, a very sophisticated online learning that we use here, like Flipgrid, or let's say, what is that? Creating YouTube, Movie Maker, and stuff like that, they have challenges in terms of bandwidth. So that's something that I have to keep in mind. So basically what I did was I was learning on the study that I've done during that summer. I was researching 2 schools in my hometown. Just so you know, I live in here. I come from this very small place and learn how teachers there are doing online learning. So when I was interviewing teachers there, most of them are complaining how difficult it was because they have infrastructure from school, they have internet connection for the government, but their students didn't have that. Their students only have $40 smartphone that cannot even open YouTube sometimes. Even they got like 30 gigabytes internet from the government, they cannot use it. They have to climb the trees, which is my experience when I was like young. And so they asked me how to develop online material that was accessible for them. So I told them, just remember, your students need 4 things in this online environment. They need access to communicate and also materials. They also need your support, not only cognitive, but also support in terms of emotional. So if they are late, just basically ask them what you can help. So what I did at that time with these teachers are I was introducing the very common thing millennial use, social media, and how to use that to teach students. So all of them are English teachers. I introduced them how to use WhatsApp and how to basically create groups in WhatsApp, how to call students using WhatsApp. If students cannot attend, video call, how to use only audio call with the students. The other things that I introduced them is the use of Instagram, how to use Reels, and how to basically develop creative learning process with their students, creative assessment. One of them is creating 30-second video for their students in the grammar. So I call it sing your grammar. So one of the example I give them is it must has been love. So it was past perfect tense, and ask your student to sing that. And then you just need to change the words on that and also the structure. And through this professional development, they just realized, oh, social media is not only to show off your children, but you can also use it to teach your students. Thank you.
Thank you, Uri. Okay, up next is Nicole. Again, Nicole, you're going to talk about your FACT task group.
Hi, everyone. Me again. Myself, along with Chilton Reynolds, we are both the co-chairs of the Innovative Assessment for Student Learning FACT 2 committee. And we want to talk a little bit about not only a website that we've been working on that is a great way to get information out there for assessment, because who doesn't love assessment, but we also wanted to highlight some of the work that we've been doing for a symposium. So Chilton's going to help me out and populate the chat for you with some links, but we do have a website that is set up that highlights a lot of innovative assessment in different categories that you can work on. One of them happens to be social justice, which deals with race and culture and socioeconomic status and what we can really do to be a little bit more equitable in how we present our assessment. Second one is real world assessment. It takes a look at authentic assessment and more realistic ways of assessing students. We have multiple pathways for assessing learning through gamification, contract specification grading, and then learning recognition, taking a look at how we can really highlight a lot of the student learning through different means and formats beyond extending the classroom. So we do have a website that we've created, and I'll just highlight some of the work that's in here, where we have each of the 4 different Fact 2 groups. We have a little bit more of a definition for each of the different areas. We also have some resources that can help you out when you take a look at how you can go about changing up your assessment. And then most importantly, we have, sorry about that. We have examples, and we're asking for faculty, and once you go to the site, we do have a form set up where you can share different examples. Part of our task group is to collect different examples from all over the SUNY system on all those different areas. We also have a symposium coming up in April, and it's throughout the month of April, every Thursday, starting at 1 p.m. There's going to be a series of each of the 4 different task groups. Each of the different working groups, multiple pathways, real world assessment, diversity and equity, and then certainly learner recognition. That'll be every Thursday at 1 p.m. You'll learn a little bit about assessment. We will share some best practices with you, and then we will bring it back for faculty to get together, have those wonderful discussions on what it is that you can share out with us and what you can learn and bring back.
Thanks so much, Nicole. Thank you. All right, let me stop the timer and go back to the, so Erin, I think you're up next.
I am. Thanks, Alex. I'm going to share my screen. So a lot of folks on the call are some of our frequent flyers for engaging in community activities, so it's awesome. But I also wanted to make sure if folks were new to our community that they knew about the wealth and variety of resources that we have available to you. So this document that I'll post in the chat, it's really easy. It's a bit.ly, it's scoop overview. It shows you all of the different ways that we try to promote a culture of engagement in our community, the ways that we showcase and recognize excellence in our teaching and faculty and staff, and also some different methods for staying connected, how we communicate. And so highlighting 2 of those, one is our website, online.suny.edu. I believe almost everything in that document is here on the website somewhere. So if you come to the site and you're a campus, faculty, or staff, you would get this, this grid, and you can filter by campus supports, community engagement activities, faculty supports, and so on. And so all of these are clickable boxes that take you out to different resources that we have created or developed or sourced for you. And then one of the other ways that we engage in community is by hosting a series of different webinars throughout the year for a variety of topics. And you've already heard us mention Open Education Week. Dave is presenting for that. Ed Beck is also going to be sharing with you here. I saw he is presenting for that. So this starts next week, and registration is open for this. And we would love to see you at any of these webinars around open education.
Are you done?
Thanks, Alex. I am. That's it.
Thank you. I'm trying to take pictures and do all kinds of things. So
you have plenty of my pictures, including with chocolate eggs. So
I know. All
Put those links in the chat. Thanks.
Who's up next? Carla Carter.
Hi. Let me go ahead and get my screen shared. I'm Carla Carter from Bellevue University in Bellevue, Nebraska. And I am going to be talking about certainly when students are having difficulties with getting their assignments in on time, they can email us or call us or text us or whatever. But one of the things that I did was I put a little form in. And so while they're looking through their, in this case, in module 1, they can just fill out a little form, and that buys them a week. So part 1 is I explained it in my syllabus. And I have what I call a moist syllabus. I know people hate that word. I'm going to turn it into a liquid syllabus, but at the moment it's just a moist syllabus. So I go down and I explain my late work policy. And I'm one of those folks who, you can, as long as you get it in by the end of the term, I really don't take points off, but some people need the teeth of a deadline. So they think that, okay, there's the due date and then there's the deadline. So if you're having problems, and I list what some of these are, oops, I forgot to do my timer, but you're keeping track. Just reasons, like human reasons. Most of our students are non-traditional, so they do have families, they do have jobs, and stuff's just going to happen. And I completely understand that. And I want people to make sure they keep up with the work, because it's a real drag to catch up at the end. But, there's grace, there's tolerance and all of that. But I want to know why, so that if it's something having to do with class, that I can help them. So I do mention that in my late work policy. And then let me share again here, because I'm not competent enough to do this in one thing. Oh, my little Zoom menu is hiding it. There we go. All right, so then when you actually get into the module to do this, let me scroll down. It's way at the bottom. It's a quiz object. And so it's my homework will be late. A quick form you'll fill out. If your assignments will be turned in after the due date, but before the deadline, please check the syllabus for that. And this is just a Blackboard quiz. And I tell them that I want the real reason, but if they can't tell me the real reason, they need to tell me a really good creative story. I have to tell you that no one has ever given me the good creative story. I have gotten what seems to be some really heartbreaking things, especially during the time of COVID. So it's just a short answer thing. Go ahead, reason, fill it in. It's 0 points. So when I go to grade it, I just have to put 0 points in. I set the display in Blackboard to be complete, incomplete, which puts in a checkbox. And then that way I can know, okay, the student has contacted me, and really they're using this. And most of them get the work in, even though they get an extra week attached to it. Most of them get the work in within, I would say, 3 or 4 days. It's really worked out well. I don't know if it works out better for me because I am a woman professor, whether that would not work as well with male professors. Some of the reasons other faculty who I've told this about don't want to use it is because they're worried that students are just going to keep using it week after week. But frankly, as long as the students are communicating with me, I feel like that's the bigger lesson we need to learn, because in the real world, if I'm going to be late for something, I just let the people know who are expecting it and say, I need some extra time. And then they're like, no, you can't have extra time. And I'm like, okay, I'll stay up all night. Or they say, oh yeah, I'm going to be gone all week anyway, so just get it to me when you get back. Any questions?
Ooh, just on time.
Hey.
Perfect timing. I think.
Oh, let me stop sharing.
Yeah, no worries. I think Ed, you're up. All right, is somebody talking? Can't hear you, Carla, if you're talking. And
hey everybody.
Oh no, it's Ed. There you are.
It was about 1 year ago. It was at this session that I shared that Oneana was creating an open lab. We were creating a WordPress multi-site where faculty, staff, and students could create an entire WordPress site based on courses, projects, organizations, or portfolios. And we've kept going with this. Our open lab is growing. We have about 200 of our students using it, making about 100 different sites. So some of the sites are collaborative, like this one from education. Some sites are kind of informational, like this one from our Teaching Learning Technology Center. And then a lot of our sites are individual students' portfolios. And each one of those, when we go into here, it is a communication center. So when we do a post, it pushes out an email to everyone who is part of this group on the Open Lab. It becomes part of our communication, but at its core, each one of these is just kind of a WordPress site. And so this is something that we've been doing, and our portfolios have been popular with some professors. And we even took it to the recent AAC and U forum on open learning and e-portfolios, what we were doing to use WordPress, an open publishing tool, with our portfolios. And again, each one of these portfolios is actually just a WordPress site. So it's portable. WordPress is hosted in a lot of different places, not just by us, so a student can export and take it with them when they graduate. And so we really like that. We're teaching students to use the tools that run 40% of the internet, and they can take it with them after they graduate. It's been really fun. It's sometimes like a touch point where we can teach students about open licensing, and maybe they're doing work for their class and we can teach them how to put an open license on the work that they're doing. So like I said, we did this, we brought it to the AAC and U meeting, but we're reprising that for Open Education Week to show off what we did with Dr. Sarah Portway. She'll come in from that instructor perspective. We interviewed students to get ready for this presentation, so we have student feedback built into the presentation. And if you stick around after I present, Amanda Schmidt from SUNY Geneseo is going to present how she used the same Open Lab software to use a first-year blogging project. We're both doing similar things. She's going to talk about how they created one site for a whole group of people to contribute to. And I'm going to talk about how we used, each person had their own site to use a portfolio.
Okay, thank you so much, Ed. Smile, I'm taking your picture. Gotcha. All right, who's next? I'm not sure anyone was signed up after Ed. I'm going to check. And now I'm going to go to the participant list and I'm going to call on somebody. And the first person I see in the A's is Andrea Gilbert. What is something cool going on at Monroe Community College, Andrea?
Oh, geez, Alex.
You're welcome. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I'll turn it off. Stop. All right, something cool going on at Monroe.
Oh, we got a lot going on, but I'm trying to think of something cool. We have had success with our faculty drop-in Zoom hours during the week. So we've been staffing this for the last couple years with our team, and we have morning hours, we have afternoon hours, and we have a couple people on, and faculty have really found this very helpful to just pop in for a quick question. They don't have to walk down and see us in our offices. And you know, we've had probably about 5,000 visitors in the last couple of years with these open hours, and we're going to continue them, especially for the upcoming DLE migration. I think it will be really helpful to them. So we have a lot of other things going on, so as well with the DLE project right now, but that's the only thing I can think of being put on the spot. So thanks,
sorry
Alex.
about that, Andrea. Can you put just a little blurb
Sure.
in the Google Doc so that we can refresh our memories about what you talked about?
Absolutely.
All right, who do I have next here? I'm just going to randomly scroll, and I see George Gooba. Are you there? Blast from the past. What's going on with you, and what's something cool you want to share?
Well, still looking for a job, but I think the cool thing is just all the resources that have come up and conferences that have opened up to be freely available to people. This one is a prime example, and a lot of other ones that have had, paid conferences or even just small individual conferences at colleges are now openly available to people almost anywhere.
So George is looking for a job apparently. And so anyone out there who's looking for an instructional designer, George was a long time SUNY instructional designer. I think I remember you at Broome, but you were elsewhere. So anyway, some networking for you, George.
Yep, sure. Yeah, I started at Broome in '99 and I've been doing it since. So
yeah, well, put your contact information in the Google Doc, and you never know. Who else is here? If you want to say something, raise your hand and I'll call on you. Otherwise, I'm going to just go through the list and call. And I don't know who some of the folks are that are here, but I see Nicole Jacob. Nicole, where are you from, and what's something cool that you're doing?
Hi, y'all. Yes, I laugh because I have the H in my name and then my last name is pronounced Jacob.
Jacob.
I tease my husband all the time. Like it's a really bad combo. So anytime I call someplace, I just spell everything out because it's just, there's no point. But first, it's been really great hearing what everybody's been doing, especially with like the big changes that have happened with COVID. I am just coming back to full-time work from being a stay-at-home mom for the past 3 years. I just started with SUNY Online back in September as an instructional designer, working with some of our partner colleges and having a chance to help with providing feedback and reviews on different courses we get for the SUNY Online programs. Right now, I think much like everybody, we're in this hurry up and wait phase for Brightspace. During my time, even as a stay-at-home mom, I've been teaching as an adjunct for several years now. And one of them has been with Southern New Hampshire University, and we've been on Brightspace now for at least a good year. I think everyone can agree the sense of time is warped for all of us lately, but it's been a really great experience. So just kind of in the hurry up and wait process and seeing what we can do to support all the different folks that we work with and some of you all. So if there's any way we can be of assistance as a team, always here and happy to help.
Great, thank you, Nicole. All right, Kim, I saw that you had started typing in the Google Doc. Do you want to chat?
Sure, I wanted to just I just wanted to share that the University of Buffalo, working with the Center for Professional Development and SUNY Online, is hosting the International Association for Continuing Engineering Education Conference this June 8th through 10th, again at the University of Buffalo. It will be available both in person and online. And it's a great chance to kind of see what's happening in the world of continuing education and online learning around the world. So the call for papers has just closed, although I know a person. So if you have interest in participating and have an idea for a session, please reach out to myself or to Erin or Lisa Stevens, Lisa Raposo, several of us who are on the planning committee, and we can hook you up. At the very least, plan to tune in and see all the great stuff that's going to be happening. And the link will be in the Google Doc.
Thank you, Kim. All right, let's see. I am going to call on someone, and let's go to who? Carla Bright, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So I work at St. Bonaventure. Actually, I'm working remotely. So I kind of feel a big disconnect from campus. And so I really enjoyed everybody's presentations. And
are you doing anything cool there at your institute?
We're really working on I guess I'd have to say we're a little bit behind because we're really working on getting a faculty development center up and running. And so I've been working with our director of the library on that and trying to get some workshops going and stuff like that. So, but because I literally do feel very disconnected from our campus because I've been working from home since the middle of last year. And before that, I went back for a short time and then I was back home. So, but I thank you for all of the great.
You're welcome here, and you're welcome to be part of our community. We do all kinds of things remotely. Many of us work remotely and connect virtually through events like this. So thanks for coming and reaching out and participating. I really appreciate it. And why don't you put some information there, link to your institution and about you, so in our Google Doc, and that way we can continue to connect and network. And I hope you'll come to some of the networking sessions.
Yes, I do. Well, I graduated from SUNY school, so I went to JCC here in Olean. And so, but yes, I'm in a group with Ed Beck and several other people. And so I kind of keep up that way.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Who's next? Debbie Spiro, you must be doing something cool at Nassau.
Good timing. I just raised my hand.
You did?
So
I didn't.
perfect.
I just called on you.
So, hi, everybody. I came in late, but my colleague Joanne Thacker was presenting from NCC on the website. So I just want to piggyback off of that. I don't know if she had the opportunity to share the multiple tools that she's connected from the website. We're using Airtable, we're using Zapier and Credly. So our workshops, we have all our professional development. We now have badges for them and wonderful and visual, and all of that's connected on the website. And we're also, the next piece I just want to mention, and I have a number of my wonderful DE team members on this call, we're starting out to do a virtual tour showcasing all the online resources that have been developed since the start of the pandemic. And the idea is to take it virtually on the road to make faculty more aware and to know, as our group has now said, our mantra is embracing the change and we've got this. And the idea is, as we go into D2L, we're going to go in with a different outlook. We're going to embrace it, not be fearful. So thanks to all the team members here, but that's our cool and wonderful own community of practice that we're sharing out with the campus.
Oh, thanks so much, Deb. That's awesome to hear. I love the embrace the change thing. That's cool. All right, who wants to go next? Maureen, I see your hand up. Yay, thank you for volunteering.
Sure, I just sort of connected to what Deb was just saying. Our college is Orange County Community College, but SUNY Orange. So our CTL director created this hashtag, so bright. So our mantra for moving to Brightspace is we're telling them your future's so bright. We're going to be handing out sunglasses and that type of thing for our faculty training session. So trying to keep everything on the positive side. So I love what Deb's doing too. So it's got to keep it all on the positive. Yeah, I've got to wear shades. Yeah, Michelle.
Oh, Maureen, that is awesome. Can you please put that in the Google Doc so we
so
can
much
totally
fun.
adopt that hashtag. I love it. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Very cool. All right, who's next? Raise your hand or I will continue to look through. Christy Wood looks interesting. Christy, what cool thing are you doing?
Hi there. I'm Christy. I work at the University of Virginia at the Darden School of Business. And forever we've had peer reviews where students review their group work with assignments or just participation. And we've struggled to collect the data from that or to do it fairly or to do it however the professor wants to. And so lately we've been trying to do it in a more organized fashion. And we've done a pilot with feedback fruits, which has actually worked out really well. It's a really nice platform and everybody was a little leery to use it at first, but as people, as one faculty member uses it, they share the news and spread the love, and we've spread that across most of our classes. And then we also have been using Perceptive, which is a peer review tool for uploading work and reviewing it. And we haven't used that as much, but that has also been a success. So we're still in the pilot version of that. So I don't really have a lot of news about how it's going to ultimately turn out, but so far so good.
Excellent, Christy. Would you put the links to those things that you mentioned in our Google Doc so we can, check them out later and capture that?
Absolutely.
And thanks for tuning in.
Sure thing.
All right, I see Jay Netlett, and I don't know what your name is.
Oh, it's Jen Nettleton, Jen Boisvert.
Oh, Jen, hi.
Yeah. Hi, just wanted to put a plug out there for a free virtual ed tech conference hosted by SUNY Empire State College. It's July 22nd, a Friday, and I will put the link in the chat.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you, sort of.
Here, yes. Oh, probably. Oh, there we go.
There you are. All right. I got your picture.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Who's next? Raise your hand. Or I'm looking through Anthony Beatrice. Anthony, what a cool thing are you doing?
Beatrice, thanks. We've got a new instructional design program, so that's exciting online. I'd love to hear about the the micro-credentials Credly angle. We're pursuing that here as well, both for our faculty and our students. But what really has got me excited is that in our instructional design program, we're requiring the students all to have virtual reality headgear, and we're holding some of our synchronous sessions in virtual reality spaces. So we're trying to create a different version of presence in online learning so that we feel more connected. So what we're trying to do, I think the best affordance of the technology so far has been that right now we're probably all doing 3 or 4 different things at any given time. But in virtual reality, you're in that space and it completely monopolizes your focus and attention in a similar way to being in the same room as somebody. So we had great success with it. The kids have already really responded to it in kind of a profound way. So we're looking forward to mixing it in the right places at the right times. It's certainly not a replacement for anything, but it's been a nice augment. So
Where are you
that's
from,
how
Anthony? Where are you
SUNY
from?
Potsdam.
SUNY Potsdam, cool. All right, well, if you wouldn't mind putting your name and your institution and just a little blurb about what you talked about in our Google Doc. And here we are at the end. So last but not least, Anthony, I want to thank all of our micro presenters for the Unsession and encourage you to supplement anything that you may have chatted about in our Google Doc so we can capture the information and dive into it a little bit further if you have additional links or information for us to explore. And that's a wrap up for the Unsession for this year. Thank you so much to everyone for participating and for engaging and sharing, or for being here to listen to all the cool things that are going on across the system and beyond. It's always a fun time to hear what people are up to and what cool things are going on, either individually or on campuses or in programs. Very, very cool. So